am going to teach you Unit 2.5. Let's march. Before starting the unit, let's learn some facts about Mr. Kailas Satyarthi.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2014 is to be awarded to Kailash Satyarthi for their struggle against suppression of young people and children.
There is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the laws and constitutions are unable to protect our children. Today is the time for every child to have the right to life. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be more stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept here.
Getting a greeting like this is all the reward Kailash Satyarthi needs for freeing these children from a life of slavery. He tries to give these kids the childhood they missed.
Do you think these kids see you as a Nobel Peace Prize winner?
No, I don't think they see me as friend or brother or something like father. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I've held their injured bodies and I have felt their broken spirits. I refuse to accept that children belonging to certain sections of society are born to work for others at the cost of their childhood and freedom and education. If the children are exploited, if the children are deprived from their childhood in any part of the world cannot live in peace. The world cannot be human.
It's not often the two winners of the Nobel Peace Prize get together, but it happened yesterday when President Obama met Kailash Satyarthi. They were joined by 3 children who were rescued from child trafficking and forced marriage.
You cannot live in isolation. All the problems and solutions are interconnected. And so the problem of child labor in any part of the world is your problem.
Satyarthi organizes raids with local police, but sometimes employers are tipped off and waiting for him armed.
But I have been attacked many times in my life.
You had a gun to your head?
Literally here.
This is dangerous work, freeing these kids.
Somebody has to pay the cost for freedom. It does not come on plate. So if not me, then who else will do? Nobel Prize.
Who won the Nobel Prize, he asks. Their reply, all of us kids.
It's good. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters.
Now let's start. Kailash Satyarthi, 1954, is an Indian children's rights and education advocate and an activist against child labor. He founded the Bachpan Bachao Andolan in 1980 and has acted to protect the rights of more than 83,000 children across 144 countries. He is honored with many awards including Nobel Peace Prize of 2014. He had addressed his speech on the eve of Nobel Prize distribution ceremony. This lesson is a speech delivered at the eve of Nobel Prize distribution ceremony. Let's see what he had expressed in this speech, that is, let's march. Let me explain you the part 1 of this speech. My dear children of the world, your majesties, your royal highnesses, excellencies, distinguished members of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, dear brother Tom Harkin, brothers and sisters, and my dear daughter Malala. Now here he has begun this speech by addressing different distinguished members who were present at the ceremony of the Nobel Prize ceremony, Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. From this podium of peace and humanity, I am deeply honored to recite a mantra from the ancient text of wisdom Vedas. Now this is the speech of Kailash Satyarthi. He says, from this podium of peace and humanity, I am means Kailash Satyarthi. I am deeply honored to say a mantra from ancient text of wisdom, that is Vedas. Satyarthi says, this mantra carries a prayer and aspiration. Aspiration means an ardent wish or desire, and a resolve that he has the potential to liberate humanity from all man-made crises. So then he said in this speech after the Vedas. Then says, let's walk together in the pursuit of global progress. Not a single person should be left out or left behind in any corner of the world, from east to west, from south to north. He says that let us all come together, addressing the people, all belong to entire nation, entire world. He says, let us all come together. There should not be a single person left out or left behind in any corner of the world, from east to west, from south to north. He says, let us all come together and fight for the right of children. Let's speak together. Let our minds come together. He called the people. He mentioned the people to come together, speak together. Let us our mind come together. Learning from the experiences of our ancestors, let us together create knowledge for all that benefits all. He said that let us come together, let us share our feelings, let us share our views, and to allow our mind to come together, and let's learn my experience from ancestors, and we create or use knowledge for the benefits of everybody. I bow to my late parents, to my motherland India, and to the Mother Earth. Then he bows to his late parents, his motherland India, and the Mother Earth for what he is receiving. With a warm heart, I recall how thousands of times I have been liberated. Each time I have freed a child from slavery. With a warm heart, he remembers memory how thousands of times he had been liberated. Each time means he got freedom. Whenever he freed a child from slavery, he felt that he was liberated and he was freed from the clutches of the problems. In the first smile of freedom on their beautiful faces, I see the God smiling. Satyarthi says, when he freed a child or gave a freedom to a child, he saw the smiles on the face of child. It looked like the smile of the God he sees, the God in the face of children. I give the biggest credit of all this honor to my movements, Kalu Kumar, Dhumdas and Adarsh Kishore from India and Iqbal Masih from Pakistan, who made the supreme sacrifice for protecting the freedom and dignity of children. Now he was not alone. These are the persons who were helping him. They worked together not only from India but also from Pakistan. Who were they? Kalu Kumar, Dhumdas and Adarsh Kishore from India and Iqbal Masih from Pakistan, who made the supreme sacrifice for protecting children, who made the supreme sacrifice for protecting the freedom and dignity of children. I humbly accept this award on behalf of all such martyrs, my fellow activists across the world and my countrymen. Now Satyarthi says, I humbly accepting the award. He was accepting the awards. He says that I am accepting this award on behalf of all such martyrs, my fellow activists across the world and all his countrymen. He dedicated the award to all his people who have supported him, who helped him to make the children free, to give the dignity for the children. Dignity means self-respect to the children. My journey from the great land of Lord Buddha, Guru Nanak and Mahatma Gandhi, India to Norway is a connect between the two centers of global peace and brotherhood, ancient and modern. Satyarthi says he belonged to the great land of Lord Buddha, Guru Nanak and Mahatma Gandhi. From India to Norway, there is connection between the two centers of global peace and brotherhood, ancient and modern. Friends, the Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Respectfully, I am unable to do that. Then he addresses friends and says the Nobel Committee has invited him to present a lecture. He says that he was called here to present a lecture, but I am unable to give a lecture because I am here. The sound of silence. Because I am representing here the sound of silence. Means children's voice. As the children, they cannot express, they cannot cry because they are helpless. There is nobody to help them. Such kind of children are helped by Satyarthi. The cry of innocence and the face of invisibility. I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair here as a reminder. Who is the cry of innocence? The children who are not have any dignity, any freedom, and the face of invisibility. Their freedom, their sorrow and expressions, everything is dumbed. Everything is caught by somebody. They are under the control of somebody. So the sound of silence means the unheard plea of deprived, means unheard plea of children, and the face of invisibility means unnoticed suffering of the poor and innocent. Who are poor and innocent? The children are poor and innocent. Then he pointed towards an empty chair. He said, I have kept it empty because I am representing, means Kailash Satyarthi is representing millions of children who are left behind. That's why he kept the chair empty as a reminder. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children because they are all our children. Gesture to everyone in the audience. He says that he is there only to share the voices and dreams of the children. Addressing everyone in the audience, he says, because they all are children. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I have held their injured bodies and felt their broken spirits. He says that he has seen the frightened faces and exhausted eyes of children. He says that he had the feelings, he had felt the children, the sorrow, the injured body of the children, and he has seen the broken spirit of the children. 20 years ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, I met a small skinny child laborer. Then Satyarthi says that he met a small thin child laborer in foothills of the Himalayas 20 years ago. He asked me, is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book instead of forcing me to take a gun or tool? Look at this statement. The child asked Satyarthi, is the world so poor, very poor that it cannot give me a toy, it cannot afford to give a child to give a toy or a book to study, instead of they are forcing me to take gun or a tool. I met with a Sudanese child soldier. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. That skinny laborer was Sudanese. He was kidnapped by an extremist militia. Instead of giving him a book to study, he was given him a gun to hold. As his first training lesson, he was forced to kill his friends and family. He asked me, what is my fault? That poor children asked Satyarthi, what was my fault? I was asked to kill my friends and family at my first training. Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for our children. Every religion teaches that to love, to serve the children. What is written in every religious book? Jesus said, let the children come to me. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them. The Holy Quran says, kill not your children because of your poverty. So all the religion teach us to care for our children. What a wonderful line Satyarthi says. Friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dream of our children. This is very beautiful line. He says, friends, there is no great violence. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and mosques and churches and prayer houses have no place for the dreams of our children. So what Satyarthi says, there is no great violence of the one who deny the dreams of our children. We don't have right to deny the dream of children. Satyarthi says he refused to accept that all the temples, mosques, churches and different prayer houses have no place for dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the world is so poor when just 1 week of a global military expenditure can bring all the children to classroom. What a line. He says that he refused to accept that the world is so poor it can bring all the children to classroom just by the expenditure of a global military of only 1 week. I refuse to accept all that laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. Then Satyarthi says, I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitution, police and judges are unable to protect our children. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest of freedom. I refuse to accept here. Then he says, I refuse to accept that the shackles means chains that binds. He says a chain that bind of slavery of the children can ever be stronger than quest of freedom. He said he refused to accept all here. My only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child. Then he said very important line, every child is free to be a child. Then he says free to grow and develop, free to eat, sleep and see daylight, free to laugh and cry, free to play and learn, free to go to school and above all free to dream. So all these things are the freedom of a child and some children cannot get all this freedom. I have the privilege of working with many courageous people who have the same aim. We have never given up against any threat or attack and we never will. Then he remembered other persons who have the same aim as his and he had the privilege to work with them. He says he and the other persons who were working with for the freedom and dignity of the children got threat or attack, but they never give up on their aims and they will never give up on it. We have made progress in the past couple of decades. We have reduced the number of out-of-school children by half. Then he says they have made progress in their work in last couple of decades. They have reduced the number of out-of-school children to the half. We have reduced the number of children laborers by a third. We have reduced child mortality and malnutrition and we have prevented millions of child deaths. They have also reduced the number of child laborers by a third, and he says they have reduced child mortality rate and malnutrition, and they have prevented millions of child deaths. But let us make no mistake, great challenges still remain. But he says, let us make no mistakes, there are still many challenges on their path. Friends, the biggest challenge or biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. Addressing all, he says the biggest challenge is or crisis for human being is fear and intolerance. We have utterly failed our children in imparting an education. He says we have failed to our children in imparting an education, as we all know that education gives us the meaning and the objective in life. An education that gives a sense of global citizenship among the youth, and it also gives a sense of global citizen among the youth. So all we can see that education is very important to children. Then he says, I'm afraid that the day is not very far away when the cumulative result of this failure will culminate in an unprecedented violence, and that will be suicidal for humankind. Then he says he is afraid that one day the result of this failure, the result of the lack of education, may lead to unprecedented violence, and that will be the suicidal for humankind. So education is very important for children. Rights, security, hope can only be restored through education. Right of people, their security, hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala, I have started calling her my daughter Malala, not just Malala. So many daughter Malala and other daughters, including Kainat, in fact, two Kainats, and Sazia, and the daughters from Africa and from all over the world. Then talking about the bravery of Malala, he says the young people like Malala, he calls her daughter Malala, not just Malala. He gave more example of brave girls like daughter Kainat and Sazia and daughters from Africa and daughters from all over the world. All these girls have risen up and chosen peace over violence, tolerance over extremism, and courage over fear. So what do you say? All these girls, Malala and Kainat, Sazia and other girls from Africa and from all over the world, they have chosen peace over violence, tolerance over extremism, and courage over their fear. The solutions are emerging, but the solutions cannot be found in the deliberations in conferences alone and cannot be found in prescriptions from a distance. He says that there are solutions, but the solutions can only be found in a conference only, not only in conference. What he said, these are not in conference only, but also it must be there in human, means in practical manner and implementation of human being, not from the prescription from a distance. They lie in small groups and local organizations and individuals who are confronting with the problems every day. Even if they remain unknowledged, unrecognized and unknown to the world, the solution are with them. He says children are living with their family in small groups or local organizations and individuals who are confronting, means facing and attacking with the problems every day. They are dealing with day-to-day problems and survive, but still they remain unknowledged, unrecognized and unknown to the world, as the solution is there with those people. Now, second part of his speech, we can do it. Now Satyarthi says that every person can do something. Why not? We are human beings. We have brain. God has gifted us beautiful brain. We have humanity. So we can do anything. You may ask that what can one person do? I would recall a story of my childhood. Then he presented a beautiful story from his childhood, saying that what can one person do? A heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away, including Lion, the king of the forest. Suddenly, then he saw a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. Then he presents a story. Look at this small bird. A heavy fire and broken out in the forest. All the animals were running here and there, even the king of the jungle, lion. Suddenly he came across the bird who was rushing toward the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" To the lion's surprise, the bird replied, "I am going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "How can you do it keeping one drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant and he said, "I am doing my bit." Then the lion was surprised and he asked, "What are you doing? Why are you rushing towards the fire? Come away from there. I am going to extinguish the fire, to put off the fire." The lion laughed and said, "The fire is huge and you are just a tiny bird. How can she do it with just one drop of water in her beak?" The bird was adamant, means determined. She said, "I am doing my bit." The bird didn't listen to the lion, just said, "I am giving my best, I am doing my bit. Whatever it is, even though it is a drop of water, I am doing something. I am trying. I know that it's a heavy fire, but I am doing my bit." So from this story he says there is no comparison between big or small children. If you wish, you can do whatever it is, and it may be small or huge. Whatever you can do, try to do something that you can. Now, 18 years ago, millions of individuals marched across the globe and demanded a new international law for the abolition of wars of child labor. And it has happened. We did it. Millions of individuals did it. 18 years ago, millions of individuals marched across the globe, and what they demanded, they wanted to have a new international law to unapprove the worst form of child labor, and it happened. They did it. Millions of individuals did it. So what he wants to say, if we can come together, we can do anything. Whatever you can, you try to do, become success or not. So from that story we learn that we should do something, whatever it is, small or big. It always gives our best and automatically success will come to you. And from second example, he said millions of people marched 18 years ago and abolished the law, and they did it with their determination. Friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. He says, now we are living in such an age where there is lots of change in science and technology. Now you can understand what is the use of science and far the science is developed. How far the science is developed. We are learning through online, internet and through technology. So how we can come touch with the people? He says we are exchanging our goods and services from country to another and providing services in a single global market. Thousands of flights fly every day and connect us from one corner to another corner of the world. But there is one serious disconnect and there is a lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform these individuals' compassion into global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Of course, we are doing the business where we are in touch with so many countries, but there is a lack of love, affection, compassion. He says, let us come together, let us inculcate. Inculcate means develop by instructing and transform these people, and let us make globalized compassion. Compassion means pity and concern for those suffering. Let us spread this news among all the people and let us transfer the individual compassion into global compassion. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children. Look at this statement, beautiful statement made by Mahatma Gandhi. If we want to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children. I humbly aid, let us unite the world through the compassion for our children. He humbly says this, let us unite the world, the compassion for our children. I ask, whose children are they who teach footballs yet never played with one? So he gives us so many beautiful examples. So these are the children who work as a child labor. They teach football, but they never played football. Whose children are who harvest cocoa yet have never tasted chocolates? Whose children are they who are dying for Ebola? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and held hostage? They are all our children. Then he recalled one more incident. Says, I remember an 8-year-old girl we rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. When she was sitting in my car right after her rescue, she asked me, why did you not come earlier? So he recall incident and says we rescued means their organization rescued an 8-year-old girl from intergenerational means involving several generation forced labor from the stone quarries. Stone quarries means a place where the stones are dug, the stones from the depth of earth. And now they look at this statement what the girl said. Why are you so late? I wanted to go to school. Why you come so late? Why don't you come earlier? That question from that girl still shakes me. Her angry question still shakes me and has the power to shake the whole world. Her question is for all of us. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? How many girls will be allowed to go without rescue? So he says that her question has the power to shake the whole world. And then he says, what are we doing? Why are we waiting? And how many times these children, these girls will be allowed to go without any rescue and they are doing child labor? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our action. We need collective actions with a sense of urgency. Collective actions means we should come together and protect the children against the child labor with a sense of urgency. Every single minute matters, every single child matters, every single childhood matters. Satyarthi says everyone, every child, every minute, everything is matter in this child labor activity. Therefore, I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge this culture of silence and this culture of passivity, this culture of neutrality. Satyarthi challenges he want to do and he want to make people come together and abolish the child labor. Not only child labor, the children who are put behind the base, not base like the government base, a kind of a place where they are kept behind and they are not allowed to come ahead. There is no freedom, no proper care, and they suffer. So there are still some place where child labor is practicing. So Satyarthi challenges the passivity. Passivity means no action taken from surroundings for the children. And he also challenges the culture of silence. Why we are silent? And this culture of passivity and this culture of neutrality means not supporting or not helping the children. Now let's start the third part of his speech. I call upon all the governments, intergovernmental agencies, businesses, faith leaders, workers, teachers, and NGOs, and each one of us to put an end to all forms of violence against children. Now, Kailash Satyarthi requested all the government, intergovernmental agencies, businesses, faith leaders, workers, teachers, and NGOs, and every one of us to put an end to all forms of violence practiced against the children. Slavery, trafficking, child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse, and illiteracy, these things have no place in any civilized society. Kailash Satyarthi has mentioned all violence which is practiced with the children like slavery, trafficking, child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse, and illiteracy, everything. Then he says we should all come together, teachers, workers, leaders, businessmen, everyone, and help to abolish the violence on children. Friends, we can do this. Government must take child-friendly policies and invest in education and young people. Businesses must be more responsible, accountable, and open to innovative partnerships. Now, Satyarthi finds how to deal with these problems. He suggests the government to make child-friendly policies and invest in education, not only for children but also for young people. Because if the people and children are educated, then they will come to know what's happening in the society. They will help to build up the nation. They will help to build up the society. He says that businessmen should come together and invest for the sake of education, for the children, for the sake of abolition of different violence against the children. And intergovernmental agencies should come together and work together, and they should open to innovative partnership, means having new advanced ideas or methods for education. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. Global civil society must rise above the business as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders and institutions and all of us must stand with our children. He says develop the business at the same time, invest something for the children who are suffering and who are away from all the way from the liberty and not having any comfortable life in the society. Fragmented means split up or disunified. An agenda means a plan of things to be done to solve a problem. So make agendas and make plans. He say all the businessmen, government, intergovernmental agencies, teachers, workers, all should come together and stand with our children. We must be bold. We must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. It's not enough just to stand, as we must be bold. We must be ready to take any consequences in this society where we work for such kind of children. We must be ambitious. Ambitious in what? Reading the children labor, uprooting the sexual abuse which are taking place with the children. We must have the will to help the children. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a cobbler boy, my age, sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked my teachers, why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? So now Satyarthi is remembering his school time when he met a cobbler boy who was his same age and sitting outside the gate of school. Then he asked his teacher that why he is not coming to school and why he is working at this small age, young age, and why he is not with us in this school. My teacher had no answer. One day I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work." His answer made Satyarthi angry. He said, "We are born to work." Because Satyarthi saw that boy and he know that he was his same age, and Satyarthi was asking his father why his son was not coming to school, and then he come to know that the boy was working as a cobbler and he was working at that young age. And then his father says, "We are born to work." So when he was a child, he has a vision of future. So he was very angry, and it still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow. Means as a child, from childhood, Satyarthi has a vision of future. a vision of that cobbler boy sitting with me in my classroom, and he had a dream that that cobbler boy should come and sit with him in the classroom. Sitting means taking the education, as he is getting the education. Now that tomorrow has come today. So from his young age, Satyarthi has decided to work for the children and educate them. And all these rights of children should have, and they have the right to have comfortable life and everything. So he says that tomorrow has come today. I am today. You are today. Today is the time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. So what he says, the time has come. Now the time has come. Now he is not child, and from childhood he has the dream that every child must be free to do everything, and every child must have right to do all these things. Which right? Right to life, freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to have a comfortable life, dignity, right to equality and peace. So they must live with the peace. There must be equality in education, and there is no discrimination. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children in the blinking star. What he says, beyond the darkness is the face, the smiling faces of the children in the blinking stars. Today, in every wave of ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree, and every mountain, I see our children growing freely with dignity. What he says, he feels that there is a children in every wave of ocean. The children are dancing, they are in plants, they are in trees, in mountains, and they are growing freely and with the dignity. They are living life with the dignity. Satyarthi compares the nature with the children. He looks at the nature and says, there are children playing around trees, around mountains. They are happy. They are living freely and enjoying the life. And that what he wanted, and that make him so happy to feeling this and watching this, that children are happy. And he is comparing the children with the nature. Friends, I want you to see and feel this today inside you. Addressing the audience, Satyarthi says he wants them to feel what he feels inside them. My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes and feel the child inside you. Then he says many interesting things are happening today, and he requested everyone to put their hands close to their heart and feel the child inside them. I am sure you can. Now listen to that child. Listen please. He says you can feel this, and try to listen to the children inside you. Today I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas and Martin Luther Kings calling on us. He gives many examples of the great people from the world like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, who have worked for the nation, worked for the society. All these great people are within us. Let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. Then he suggested everyone to democratize, means make a democratic knowledge. Then he says, let us all come together and make universalized justice and globalized compassion. I call upon you in this room and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity, a march from slavery to liberty, and a march from violence to peace. Then he says he is inviting, he is calling everyone to march from exploitation, means take undue advantage of anything, to education. He also says he calls everyone for the march from poverty to prosperity of people, and the march from violence to peace, from slavery to liberty. Let us march from ignorance to awakening. Let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from mortality to divinity. Let us march. So He says, let us march, means let us work for negative to positive, and let us come together and for well-being of children, and let's give the children freedom of life, peace, and everything we can. So from this speech, Satyarthi expressed his feeling and give us wonderful message, very wonderful message, that we should do something that we can do for children and to abolish the violence and abolish the child labor law, everything. So now we are finishing our unit.